We have one more speaker before we move to our guest speaker today. I'm going to invite Anish Kasim from 1997 Mechanical. He's the general manager at Agnes Contracting. Anish, are you around? Oh, there you are.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I am Anish Kasim here, 97 Mechanical. I am representing Agnes Contracting, an industrial contractor based out of Dubai. We are part of the Manapart group of companies. We operate around the globe in UAE, India, Oman, and United Kingdom. In UAE, our contracting arm is having two verticals. It's Agnes Contracting and Agnes Electromechanical. Our core industries that we operate in are manufacture, airports, retail, logistics, oil and gas, aviation. Some schools and lecture villas also of known clients. One-stop solution provider is the key USB that we give our clients. With Agnes by your side, you can get a one-stop construction solution to make your dream concept into a reality, is what we go around with. Our success factors are very key. The technical expertise, the creativity, innovation, and sustainable organic solution, all within budget and time, is one of the key elements. The experience in complex projects that we have done, the proficiency in latest construction technology, offering the most modern and cost-effective construction methods. These are all the key elements that gives the success factors. Post-COVID, we have been technically and digitally oriented. We have been operating most of the projects in BIM. Modular concepts or modular construction is one of the few things that we've been operating with post-COVID. A short timeline on Agnes history. We established ourselves in the year 1992 as a fit-out company. By 2002, we covered ourselves into an MEP contractor with a turnaround of 15 to 20 million. By 2022, we transformed ourselves into a contracting company with a turnover of around 100 to 120 million. And by 2025, our aspiration is to grow around to a company of 200 to 250 million. How we will achieve? There are a lot of opportunities in Dubai and UAE. Food tourism is one of the key. Path to net zero emission projects are another key elements that we see. And e-commerce fulfillment centers all over UAE, we see a lot of opportunities in these areas. And these are the areas that we feel that we will be catching up. Thank you. Thanks.
Thank you, Anish. All right, we've got a distinguished guest speaker also here to present to us on something that's very relevant to your businesses. Before I introduce her, can I ask everybody to just stand up where you are? Just stretch your legs. You know, you've been a great audience sitting in, absorbing all the presentations today. I want to make sure that, we're not tiring you too much. Just get up, stretch, wave. Don't hit anybody close to you, but do whatever you want to do in any form or fashion that you feel will give you a bit of a breather. And may I also request the audience who's by the doors to please take a seat. Okay, great. Do we have everybody in the room? All right, so this next session, I'm really delighted to introduce Sarah Ronnie George. I must say, I'm also very thankful to Sarah because she's flown in from India to do this session for us, and we're very appreciative of that. Her husband, Ronnie, is a great friend, one of our batchmates in 1995 electronics. He says he flew in to meet us as well from Qatar, where he's gone to watch the World Cup. But I'm pretty sure he flew in to listen to Sarah presenting today. But that being aside, we're really thankful that Sarah has been able to join us. But before she gets on stage, let me kind of introduce her to you. Sarah is a leadership coach and a data storyteller who comes with an industry experience of over 20 years. She has her own HR consulting firm that works with organizations to design learning and development initiatives. What she'll be doing in this session is she'll be talking to us about the concept of data storytelling. how we are able to ensure and able to communicate insights in a meaningful way that will instill a sense of urgency in the audience to take action. We do believe that this session would be valuable to you as you seek to build your credibility as thought leaders in the organizations you're part of, and indeed lead your organizations to the next level of growth. This is a very relevant topic that would propel yourself and propel also the concept of communicating effectively and making sure that you understand the concept of data storytelling. I'm not going to do this for you. I'm going to invite Sarah to do this for you. And Sarah, please, a pleasure to have you here. Please join us on stage. All right, okay. Sarah, it's all yours.
Thank you, Binsu. I know that we're getting to the later part of the evening. All of us are migrating towards the door, which tells me that you're all in a hurry to have dinner. So I have been given a tight timeline by Binsu. So I'll make sure I stick to my time. Quickly, Binsu's already introduced himself, me to you guys. I am Ronnie's wife. Ronnie is 1995 batch electronics. Let me jump right into the presentation. The slide that you see up was the slide that was presented in 2010 by the American forces placed in Afghanistan to their leader, General Stanley McChrystal. This was the slide that was presented to show the general the complexity of the military strategy in Afghanistan. What do you think when you're seeing the slide? And I've asked Binsu to walk around with the mic, if he can, to just quickly capture some thoughts. So, Binsu, what do you think of the slide? Somebody in the audience want to put their hand up and Binsu will walk across with the mic.
Do you want an answer from me first?
Yes, absolutely.
It looks very busy. I'm hoping you can decode that for us.
Absolutely.
But any questions from anybody
yep.
on the question? Comments, questions?
What do you think of this slide? So Binsu said it looks busy. Anyone else? Yeah, there's somebody there with the hand up.
Is it legal to show it over here?
Absolutely, absolutely. This was in 2010. Yeah,
it's fine. Okay.
Yeah, okay. I'm glad you're worried about the data security of the American, military strategy. Absolutely okay. This is a slide. If you actually Google death by PPT, you will be able to get this slide there. So, as you can imagine.
Sarah, I've got a question here.
Yep,
please.
yep. Somebody else wants to add what they think about the slide?
Okay, this is just a first impression.
Yes, absolutely.
It's got a bird's eye view of everything that's going around.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it just looks completely confusing.
Yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely.
that's it.
Right. Thank you so much. Okay, I met that girl in the bathroom, and maybe that's why she's a little bit more generous in making sure she's responding to me. All right. But yes, that's exactly the thought process. Right? It is such a busy slide. It looks, like Binsu said, it is so much of information there that it becomes very difficult for us to understand as audience members, how are we supposed to read this slide, right? But I'm just trying to think about it in terms of the team that maybe put the slide together. And there's a lot of homework done there that I want to be able to also acknowledge. While it's easy to find fault with slides and presentations, I want to be able to identify the fact that there are color codes there. There are themes that have been color-coded differently, so there seems to be some effort in identifying themes. There are fonts that are bigger, there are fonts that are smaller, so it means like points and sub-points are there. There are arrows drawn which leads one point to another. That means that somebody has actually done the homework of what issue leads to another issue. There's a lot of homework and hard work done. But in the end, like most of you felt, there was this thing of how am I supposed to consume this slide? And like most of you, the general too had the same expression of By the time I understand that slide, we would have lost the war. And that's the way in which communication often falls flat. Just because we are not thinking in terms of who is our audience and how are they going to be consuming this information. We feel the need to talk about all the stuff that we have done in a way that sometimes we don't think about who is the audience, how are they going to consume this information? How can I make it simple so that the audience can understand this information? Now, I don't know how many of you have heard of the term storytelling. Generally, when you hear the term storytelling, you're taken back to your childhood days, right? It's a term you associated with growing up. It's a term you don't ever associate with adults, with business communication. But this is a term that is coming more and more into the fore in terms of just the power of engaging with an audience. The importance of using that in business communication. It doesn't have to be dry and flat. How do we make our presentations engaging and motivating? We need our teams to work. We need our stakeholders to be interested in what we're talking about. And how do we do that? By incorporating certain elements of storytelling. So in my session today, what I have tried to do is just give you a cursory look into what those elements of storytelling are. And I've done that by selecting a couple of videos for you to watch. So I don't talk, and the videos will be conveying most of my message. Binsu, I will need help. Technically, the video wasn't playing.
Can we have the video playing,
okay.
please?
ये मैं, ये यूसुफ लंगोटिया यार सी मेरा। लाहौर में हमारे घर के सामने एक बड़ा बाग था। उस बाग का गेट बाबा आदम के जमाने। रोज शाम को हमने वहाँ पतंगे उड़ानी और उसके बाद जाके यूसुफ की दुकान से झझरिया चुरा के खानी।
झझरिया?
और मेरा साहब नमस्ते।
नमस्ते, मेरी पोती मुंबई वाली।
और बेटे क्या हाल चाल है?
बचपन की तंग गली फिर से कूद फांदे, छोटी छोटी मीठी चोरी गांठ लेके बांधे।
हेलो, अस्सलाम वालेकुम।
फाजिल स्वीट्स?
हाँ जी। दादाजान, दिल्ली से किसी की कॉल है।
हेलो,
यूसुफ अंकल?
कौन?
जी मैं सुमन बोल रही हूँ दिल्ली से, आपके बचपन के दोस्त बलदेव जी की पोती। याद है बचपन में आप दोनों झझरिया चुरा के खाते थे?
बचपन की तंग गली फिर से कूद फांदे, छोटी छोटी मीठी चोरी गांठ लेके बांधे। एक पतंग सा उड़ता था परिंदों की तरह, परिंदों की तरह, परिंदों की तरह। एक दौर था मन मन मोर था, एक दौर था मन मन मोर था।
पार्टीशन के वक्त हम रातों रात हिंदुस्तान आ गए।
दादू?
यूसुफ दी बड़ी आजादी।
कागजों की कश्तियों में डूबा रहता था, झांकती खिड़कियों में उलझा रहता था। वो भी क्या दौर था, मन पे न जोर था। एक दौर था मन मन मोर था, एक दौर था मन मन मोर था।
भैया थोड़ा जल्दी।
मन मोर।
हाँ जी, कौन? हैप्पी बर्थडे यारा। यूसुफ, यूसुफ वो यूसुफ, वो मेरे बल्लू, यूसुफ है यार।
Okay. How many of you have seen that advertisement before? Can you put your hands up? Yeah? If you hadn't seen that advertisement, would you have been able to identify what the product was till the very end? The advertisement I've chosen, right, this particular brand, Google, the way they have chosen to tell their story has been so powerful, right? It's not like, I would have loved for Sajid to be here and where you're talking about the importance of branding. It's not about the product being in your face, front and center. It's about drawing the audience into your storytelling by talking about the impact of your product. Now, Google absolutely can stand up center stage and they can be saying, I am so brilliant. I allow 66,000 searches per second. I am the search engine that has the 92% of the market, search engine market, is because I own it. And my closest competitor, Bing, it's only got 2% of the market. Google has lots of facts and data to prove its credibility to the audience. But what it chose to do in this, through this advertisement, was talk about the impact of what they were doing, what they were able to accomplish in the lives of those people. So when you see the narrative of the girl who is using Google to be able to identify those places that her grandfather talks about, it is subtle. It is not in your face. When she is looking about the visa requirements to make sure her grandfather can meet her loved ones, you're drawn into her character's need to establish, reconnect, make sure those connections are happening again. You just fall in love with those characters and that storytelling. It isn't as much about the product, but yes, you do walk off thinking, wow, Google has changed lives in such a powerful way, and without tom-tomming about all its capabilities, right? So the first thing I want us to understand as an element of storytelling that we can use, all of us can use in our communication, is we don't need to be standing there talking about how capable I am. Resist that urge to be talking about what my product does and the capabilities of the product, but talk about how I'm able to actually impact lives because of the product or the service that I'm offering. Okay? So that is the first element. Let's go on to the second video clip. This is a clip that is pretty old. This is taken from
the Library of Congress in Washington, D.C.
Might need to keep the volume a little bit higher.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7, 6, 8, 9, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. These are the stakes. To make a world in which all of God's children can live, or to go into the dark. We must either love each other, or we must die.
Vote for President Johnson on November 3rd. The stakes are too high for you to stay home.
From the Library.
So this advertisement was taken out in 1964 for the campaign, presidential campaign of President Lyndon Johnson. This was the first ever time that advertisement was used in presidential campaigns, but that's not the importance of this particular clip. The fact that stories actually influence decisions comes out so easily when you look at this clip, because President Lyndon Johnson won by a landslide. Through this advertisement, it was very clearly communicated to the voters, American voters, what would be the cost of them not coming to vote. If they didn't come to vote, President Lyndon Johnson's, the senator who was competing against him for the role of the president, was Barry Goldwater, and he had implied in his campaign speeches very clearly that the war at that time, Vietnam War, he was for the usage of nuclear weapons at that time. So the message was very, very clear. If you don't come to vote, Barry Goldwater is the president you're going to get, and your children might not have a future. We might be looking at nuclear war. So the fact that President Lyndon Johnson won by a landslide should tell you the fact that stories absolutely influence decisions. And they help convey the urgency of why you should be making a decision. Okay, that's its second element, and we'll go on to the last clip that I have for you this evening. It's a little bit of a humorous clip.
Welcome to your first BNS ball, James.
It's dry as a dead thing gets stronger.
Let's get a cold drink, Tom.
Excuse me. 2 very long glasses of ice cold milk, please, mate.
Hi, my name's Tom. What's yours?
Sarah, you really like your milk, don't you?
One big glass keeps me going all night.
Oh, really? Jane.
Tom.
Milk. Are you getting enough?
Okay. So I'm sorry about the audio in that clip. It is a little bit messed up. But I think you kind of get a drift of it. 2 men walk into a party and, while all the others are having drinks, they order 2 glasses of milk. And the comment that is made is, 2 glasses of milk and I can keep going all through the day. And you see all the other men who were drinking, collapsing on the side, and these 2 men full of energy. No innuendos attached to those who like to enjoy their drinks, please. But yes, the power of milk, right? 1998, these advertisements were taken out by the Australian Dairy Association to arrest the declining sales of milk, right? And if you can transport yourself back to those times, in 1998, the other drinks that were in the market, Pepsi, Coca-Cola, and if you remember the famous Amir Khan and Aishwarya Rai advertisement of Pepsi, all that is at that same time, right? So you know what milk was competing against. Soda, Pepsi, Coca-Cola, all those were the competition. The fact is, everybody knew it, was that milk is good for you, and it helps in retention of calcium and all the other good stuff. But with this advertisement, what critics said was just absolutely a frivolous advertisement, and it would have absolutely no effect. They were proved wrong because 3 months of running this campaign, and not only did the declining sales trend stop, they actually increased the sale of milk by 2%, which was by the Australian Dairy Association a success in all forms, right? So those are the 3 facts that I wanted to introduce to you in my session today in terms of the power of storytelling and how do we leverage these power this power of storytelling in the pitches that we make, right? We saw some of the pitches that were being made, and I just want to take you through the fact that starting off the pitches in terms of, instead of talking about what we do, if we talk about the kind of impact that we have, maybe introduce that in the pitches. Talk about why is the urgency for making decisions there right now, right? Give that sense of urgency of what is the decision that you are expecting them to take, and who are you as an entrepreneur? When a VC is looking at, and Anoop can add to that, what exactly you're looking for in a startup. But one of the key things that I know that VCs look for is who is the entrepreneur itself. And that emotional connect, that heart connect with, is that the right person to be leading that company, is an important aspect of your pitch. So on that note, I wanted to leave you, just with a little bit of a teaser into what storytelling is, so that maybe you can incorporate that into your daily communications. Yeah? Thank you, Binsu. Thank you, everybody.
Great, Sarah. I just love the way you brilliantly crafted that message and the structure of your presentation itself in terms of how you've captivated us. I mean, you brought on the concept of data storytelling. I think the way you told that story was itself brilliant. I think it is just amazing that we have the likes of Sarah here today. Obviously, a lot of you own businesses, but an element of how you run the business and what can garner you for the success is a little bit of what Sarah is telling you, and it's all about communicating effectively, making sure that the core is understood and that you're able to push a sense of urgency and make sure your voice is heard. So I would encourage all of you business entrepreneurs who are successful, already successful running, make the best use of Sarah's time while she's here. I must thank her profusely because she's flown in all the way from India just for this session. And so on behalf of TKMC, we'd like to give you a big hand. And Sarah, may I request you to come on stage, please, one more time? Can I request advisory member and past president, Mr. Shahul Amit, to please come up on stage? We'd like to present Sarah with a memento. And Sarah's going to be around if you're going to have any questions from a perspective of anything related to learning and development in your organizations. She is available to support the need. She's available to talk to you on future occasions. We will have her contacts. Thank you, Sarah. All right, we need to move on. We're getting closer to dinner time, so we want to make sure everybody is heard here today. So our next speaker is Riyad Abdul Salam. He's from the 1998 civil batch. He is the managing director and CEO of We Are One. Wow, I love that company name, We Are One. Riyad, you're going to have to tell us a little bit more about We Are One.
Good evening, everybody. My session is going to be different from the others because I have sat through all the sessions. I understood that all those presentations prior to me, most of them were very established businesses. Mine is a startup which I want to introduce to you. As the name indicates, I want to make it popular and I want to make it like a people's company. If I can make it like a TKMCE Group 1, I will be very happy about it as well. As the name indicates, this is my company, this is my logo. I am basically not a businessman. I am a civil engineer in this region for the past 20 years. I work as project controls and planning engineer, and I have some experience with building materials as well. I am very experienced about quality and building materials because I have worked as quality control engineer and quality control in charge in Saudi Arabia for Aramco projects. So my intention with this startup was to bring in quality materials at affordable price to the whole of the building construction industry in the region. Because from my experience, what I have seen is all the building material companies who are supporting the construction in this region are not doing an ethical business, most of them. So I want to bring some kind of ethics into this industry. So now I work again as a planning engineer, senior planning engineer for Trojan Contracting now. Previously I was associated with Darul Handasa and Stantec, Dorsch Consultants and the like. So that's my experience with the industry. So let me move up the slides. As I told you, the logo has been designed in a manner, this has been, a lot of work has gone through the design of the logo. It shows that one hand is that of the customer and the other is mine. And I want to convey the message to the customer that we are one and together we can win. And who are we? I keep it open in front of you. Anybody who has specific interest in this one can come as investors. Overall, I am telling you what the story is behind. I am in the construction field. With this kind of a company, I am seeing a lot of opportunities around me. With my experience in the field, I am seeing that just by making a phone call or just by visiting someone, I can get great orders from big companies. But the problem with that is we need a lot of funding to float in the market, and we may recover it after a few months only, because most companies, bigger ones in the projects, pay after like 4 months to 6 months, some 8 months. So this kind of floating capital is required for this kind of a company. This is my brochure, also designed by me using a technical expertise on software from somebody else. These are the activities my company is involved in. Right now, my company is registered as in Abu Dhabi as an electrical and mechanical equipment trading. Later on, I want to expand this business as a building materials trading and a general trading in the end, so that I can deal with any kind of stuff in the industry. So this is my brochure. These are the items that I deal with as an electrical and mechanical equipment company at the moment. It's a self-explanatory, trading services, and all these are the items that I sell. Health and safety, plumbing, sanitary, building materials and paints, mechanical equipments, tools, and electrical items. I already told about my company. I don't want to waste more time of yours. We trade in electrical and mechanical equipment at the moment. Also, I will show you the contract, my license in the following slide. It shows all these activities. It's not only my intention. All these activities are already registered with Economic Department of Abu Dhabi. These are all activities in my license. I can do building maintenance, I can do mechanical contracting, I can do electrical contracting, I can do security surveillance cameras, I can do machinery repairing maintenances, I can do installation and repair of automatic revolving doors and automatic barriers. So again, vision, as I already told you, I want to bring some kind of honesty and professionalism in the industry. And my motto is, we are one and together we will win. And mission, I want to deal with quality products and brands only, so that whoever wants quality item will approach my shop or me for accessing this one. And I intend to operate at lower margins. How? By going to the wholesalers and getting the price at very competitive rates. This is myself. Currently, I am the CEO. And I have a website already. weareonetrading.com is my website. And I have this, I have a shop. This I will show you. This is my land number in the shop, and this is my mobile number. This is in Abu Dhabi. This is my commercial license, which is registered in Abu Dhabi. So you can see all the activities here. There are around 30 activities already registered in this license. And this is a commercial registration certificate valid in Abu Dhabi for the company. This is a tenancy contract for my shop, and that is the establishment card for the taking employees. So I can take any number of employees at the moment because I have the approval for this one. And this is a power of attorney which I have in my name because I am using a local sponsor. So any of the activities which my company is doing, I don't have to approach anyone. I have full authority on behalf of my company. And my wife is also a partner in this one. And regarding activities, I have already told you, all these activities are in the contract. It's not like I want to do this and I just wrote it. These are as it is in the contract. And as you know, having activities in the contract will cost a lot of money. So I have already included them all. So I will not be going through all this. I told you already around 32 activities are there in the contract. This is my shop in Abu Dhabi. It's in a prime location. It's bordering actually two Shabias we call in Abu Dhabi. Shabia 9 and Shabia 10. It's at the corner. And all the schools come on this side and all the residences come on this side. So retail and walk-in customers are targeted by locating my shop like this. So this is a physical shop that is existing. And employees, as I told you, I have established the shop now. I intend to take employees in this manner. I want to keep a civil engineer and electrical engineer and some laborers for doing maintenance jobs and some business development executives who on my behalf will go and campaign for jobs, for orders, and some accountant cashier to take care of the accounts. Just for your information, during the last Expo 2020, I had a meeting with one of the major European company CEO, Mr. David Palkic. He's from Slovenia. And I have signed contract with him. You can see this is my signature and this is his signature. And this is my company stamp. I have signed contract to deal with batteries, exclusive dealership in UAE. And if I am successfully managing that, I can extend my contract to Saudi Arabia and Kuwait as per the agreement that I have with him. So this is a signed contract that you see. And the company deals with UPS systems, solar power, data centers, communication stations, and this company is European company. And this is my first purchase order with the company just to prove that this is all not in paper. The order has been given for batteries. And I have signed the contract. This is the LPO for that one. Future vision, I want to improve my company into VR1 traders. And that's it. Thank you very much. If anybody wants to participate in this one, please come forward. Let us move ahead as we are one. Thank you very much.
Riyadh, thank you very much for that detailed insight into your company. Appreciate that. And, you know, anyone who would like to take benefit of Riyadh's offerings and services, please feel free to contact him.